like the Reds, it is the bacon butty. Monday morning, we have got a bacon butty, we've got a cup of tea, we've got Phil Blundell and we've got the papers. And we're going to get stuck in about what's gone on at the weekend and what it all means. So right now then, the league table shows Chelsea top, 30 points. Man City second, 29 points. And the Reds third, 28 points. With the best goal difference in the league. Also the only team in the league that remain unbeaten at home. Man United, meanwhile, they're on 18 points, 10 points behind the Reds. Glorious. Everton in 14th, currently on 15 points. Haven't won since September. Which is absolutely glorious.
Presenting without comment, I think.
Yeah. It's just brilliant. And look, you know, most of this show is going to be having a little bit of a grin about teams we don't like. To be honest with you, going to start with Man United on that score. They set up like they were minnows at Chelsea, scraped the draw. Very fortunate to do so, and it led to some heated scenes in the Sky Sports studio, which were hilarious. Which Carragher, of course, shared later on and said who won.
I mean, he battered him, to be fair.
Yeah, he did.
By the end of it, Roy Keane is saying that Cristiano Ronaldo signed for Manchester United to win the FA Cup.
The FA Cup.
Carragher shouldn't even have bothered arguing. He should have just gone, just rewind that, listen to it. He should have just dropped the mic and walked off.
Yeah, it was. If you haven't seen it somehow, you know, get on it. It's all over social media and it's outstanding. But it's led to some sort of, you know, follow-up stuff in the papers as well, where I didn't see this bit, whether it was on Sky or not, but he ended up having a pop at sort of everyone, really. So he's had a pop at Carrick, saying everything about the interview was wrong. He's talking about players' efforts and saying he's proud of them. He's been working with them for months. He was in the dugout with Ole. All of a sudden he's proud of them and they have a plan. What about the other games? We've seen the stats, they've been the worst in the league for closing people down, praising players for doing their jobs, mentioning the three midfielders. He then went on to say there's an old pals act holding back the club. Glorious stuff. He says, I wouldn't be one for that, getting rid of all the staff, but they have to be held accountable. Some of them because they weren't just with Ole, they were with Mourinho as well. Are they going to stay on with the new manager? Asked if they should have stayed, he added, not if they're not up to the job, and some of the staff have been there for a number of years. I get the impression at Man United, whether it's the backroom staff or people upstairs, it's an element of jobs for the boys. Wink, wink, look after each other. That's why they're 8th and 9th in the league. He says, people talk about loyalty in the game. If you want loyalty, go and get yourself a dog. Absolutely glorious from Roy Keane.
You'd never have guessed that Roy Keane didn't work out as a manager listening to that, would you? What a shock. He's basically just gone to town on everybody, hasn't he?
It's tremendous entertainment.
The thing about Carrick feels a bit unfair, talking about his interview. Well, that's not really...
I know.
He's probably not had any preparation for this. Right, he's been a player and been interviewed, but he's got to come out and articulate what, you know, tactics and how I've done this and saying and what the correct way to sort of extract something from a player for the next game, because they've got a game in the week, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what he's really after from Carrick.
I think he's just gone.
Yeah, he's probably, it's like the switch has gone in Roy Keane's head, which is always a good thing, you know. It's always entertaining to see, isn't it?
There are some questionable headlines around today and some good ones, so we're also going to be commenting on some of them. I mean, Undersoil bleating, I thought was quite good. B-, because of course
That's
Everton
good.
lost to Brentford. Decent
I B-.
as well. Yeah, both good then.
There's a can't win for toffee, isn't there?
There's a can't win for toffee, which is very good. There's a terrible one. I mean, can't win for toffee. We'll come on to that in a minute about how bad Everton are.
So you've already told me this, and I reckon it's the worst headline. I even know what you're going to do. It's the worst headline you've ever seen in your life. Doesn't make sense.
Here we go.
Doesn't make sense.
So terrible headline of this week's Monday. Winter Milan. Spurs boss Conte backs decision to call off game as players fly home after less than an hour. So this is the Spurs-Burnley game, or the Burnley-Spurs game being called off. Everyone had arrived and all that, and you know the snow was just too much and they ended up calling it off. Winter Milan though. The tenuous link being that, you know, the Spurs manager used to be at Inter Milan, but it's nothing to do with Milan.
He's not from Milan.
Nothing to do with Inter Milan. It's in Burnley.
Tottenham have played in Milan before as well.
It just feels like someone had like no time at all to write a headline and went, that'll do.
And you're probably right on that, but that's also mad because they had 2 hours longer than if there'd been a literal football match.
I know. So yeah, ups and downs on the headlines there in the Mirror Sport. But we will go back to Everton because why not? Can't win for Toffee was a good headline.
That one as well, that's good.
Oh yeah,
Sticky
of course.
Toffee
Yeah, you're
pudding.
right. In the Mail. Booed off after 7th game without a win, and it's Mersey rivals up next up. And he says, sticky toffee puddings. V's being directed towards the fans, towards the players from the fans at the end. Loads of glorious stuff. A 7-game winless run now for Everton. And there was a giant banner, Phil. We demand nil satis nisi optimum. It's about time our club did too.
All right, the Reds, thanks very much for getting stuck into that little snippet there of Anfield Wrap content. If you want the rest of that show and much more besides, click the link below, subscribe to the Anfield Wrap Premium, and for that you will get reviews, previews, exclusive interviews, post-match content, the full it. Get involved, follow us, follow them from the heart of Liverpool. Up the Reds.